Confusion is not from Yahuwah. Whenever there's confusion, that's from the devil. You got to just read the word and believe what the word says. When you don't want to have faith, when you don't want to believe what Yahuwah is saying, when you don't want to believe the word, most of the times because you don't want to give something up. You got to get rid of yourself and live through Yahusha. You got to give up your flesh and live through the spirit. You're really questioning the word because you don't really want to take the truth, because the truth hurts. And sometimes that hurt is giving up something that you're used to, giving up ways of the world, giving up your sin, giving up the joys of the flesh, the things of the flesh that you enjoy. Sometimes when you come into the truth, when you come into faith, that requires you to give something up. That requires you to sacrifice what your ways of living. It requires you to sacrifice how you have been living in sin, enjoying pleasures of the flesh, enjoying pleasures of the world that Yahuwah is not pleased with. So sometimes you get conflicting messages because sometimes people want to appeal to your soul, which is your mind, will, and emotions. Sometimes people want to appeal to your flesh and make it seem like everything is okay as long as you have faith. But that's a contradiction. It's not okay for you to, everything don't go. When you come into the way, when you come into the truth, when you're giving your life to Yahuwah, you have to live it his way. You got to live in righteousness. So you're going to have to give some things up. So there's no confusion. His word says what it says, and he means what he means what he means. He means what he's saying in his word. There's no contradiction. He doesn't contradict himself. And we can see that through the scripture. So the first scripture I'm going to read is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. For Elohim is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all assemblies of the Kodashim. So Elohim, Yahuwah, is not the author of confusion, but of peace. Confusion brings chaos. Confusion brings division. That's why there's all these different religions, because that's confusion. Some people put one part of the word over another part of the word. Some people will put one part of say that one part of the word is more important than another part of the word. He said, none of the word should be removed. He said, every jot and tittle shall come to pass. So he's not the author of confusion. Everything in his word is standing. Everything in his word is truth. Nothing in his word contradicts itself. He is not the author of confusion. Confusion comes from people adding and taking away from his word. That's why you have to study to show yourself approved. And that's why you have to be led by the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. It says, when the Spirit of truth has come upon you, he will lead you to all truth. And Yahuwah, he's not a man that he should lie. Men lie. So you got to be standing on the word, on what his word says. You can't be swayed back and forth by people's opinions and by people's theories and philosophies. It's just, what does the word say? Have faith in it, believe it, apply it to your life, and live in it. He'll take you from faith to faith, glory to glory. That means once you have faith, you build upon your faith. Once you have a certain amount of revelation, you'll get more revelation. You start off where you start off and you grow from there. You don't jump directly to the deeper revelations, to the deeper knowledge. You don't go straight to the deep. You got to start off with the foundation. What does the word say? Just simply, the word is not hard. The word is not complex. The word is simple. But you got to have faith first to be able to get the revelation of it. You got to have faith. That means you taking action on the word.